How you doing? This is Adam McInnis for Music Industry Contact, and today we'll be breaking down EXO's song "Love Me Right." If you've been to the channel before, you know I do in-depth breakdowns of hit songs, and I'll be doing a lot of different kind of material on this channel, a lot of reaction videos. But today we're going to focus on EXO. Now, a lot of people have requested EXO. EXO seems to be one of the main groups in the K-pop world that has a massive fan base and has really a talented group of people in the group. And I've been experiencing different kinds of songs from EXO and realizing how vast their talent is. So I always like it when someone sends a song from EXO over. That being said, let's hop right into today with EXO's song "Love Me Right." 'Cause I'm a fire starter. I'm a fire starter. Look out for my flames, baby, 'cause I'm dangerous. I am a fire starter. Oh yeah, come on, take your time. 왠지 두근대는 밤이야. No, 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 no. So tonight, 달 끝까지 달려가 볼까? Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Just right. 시동에 걸어 웩셀에 발을 홀려. 모든 것이 특별해 너 완전 어울려. 무엇을 원하든 I'ma make it work. Yeah. Shorty I'm a party till the sundown. 지금의 신비로운 느낌은 뭘까? 와줘 내게로 와서 people are sunrise. 네가 없는 난 어딜 가든 nobody. All right, before we get too far into the chorus, let me just break this down. I always like to listen to at least the verse and the pre-chorus before I get really in depth into the song structure, because I want to make sure I can hear as much of the information as I possibly can. So let's start with this. One thing I can already tell is that it's inspired by Prince, Motown, that 70s sound with the din-din-din-din-din-din. You know, we have this guitar going on and a cool, funky drum groove with the bass lines happening. But let's see what's actually happening in melodic structure and what they're using to captivate our attention. So let's start from the very top of how do they grab our attention in the first 8 seconds. Okay, so it goes whomp. Right, that's the first thing. Whomp, doom. A lot of times when people intro songs, they'll use a reverse sound like this one, whomp, or they'll use sometimes just starting with a vocal comes in, right? But I always think it's interesting when you look at how it enters into a song, because it's kind of like in a movie scene where the camera will come into frame and then fall onto the lead actors. It's the same thing of how they're entering into it with music. So let's hear what else they do. Okay, cool. So it starts off with boom, dum, dum. We got the guitar coming. Boom, dum, dum, boom, dum, dum. So we're establishing the groove, which is very important. The groove is making us know that it's going 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. 4. So whatever vocal melody, it's going to land in that pocket. And I know that because the first part of a song, the first 4 to 8 bars, if it's instrumental, the main reason for it doing is to establish certain things. One is to establish any hooks that will be used later. 2, it's to establish the groove of the song. And 3, it's to establish the melodic structure of its up and down rhythm. So if it's like boom, dum, dum, the melody's going to have to fall inside that beat and inside this beat and inside this beat. Because if it went outside of that melodic structure, it would fall out of frame. Oh, yeah. We got some yes, some commands. Take your time. Okay, cool. And then we have this pew, pew. And when we do that sound, that pew, pew, that comes through, that's happening because it's giving the listener a transitional element to take it into the verse. So if you notice, it sets up a groove, but then we have this kind of abrupt sound that goes pew, pew. And then in that sound is where you hear it. I feel like it might remove the instrumentation on the bottom end, meaning the kick and the snare, so that it has space to go into that verse. But let's hear it again. Oh yeah, come on. Take your time. So you notice how the drums kicked out? You didn't hear the drums for that one little brief bar. And that's so that that high sound, that pew, pew, could take over and that your attention would be on it. All right, let's hear the verses.
Come on. Take your time. 왠지 두근대는 밤이야. No, 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 no. So tonight.
Wow, okay, this reminds me a lot of a Michael Jackson song. I'm trying to figure out which one it was. But all right, so let's look at the melodic structure. So tonight, and it goes, yeah, yeah. And these harmonies are stacked. Then they repeat the melodic structure, but in the second time when they go, so tonight, listen to the harmony they add on that word. Check it out. Right here.
So tonight.
They start to stack these harmonies to give it more of just layered in its sonic information and making it interesting. But the cool thing is they do it right from the beginning. They're not waiting to give you all of this. They're like, here, we're going to get it right from the top. If you listen really closely, in the background, you're hearing it. So it's like, boom, cat, boom, boom, cat, boom. Like that's straight Michael Jackson. So try to listen for just that, and you'll notice that that's part of the structure of the drum groove. Watch it. Right there. It's in it. Watch. So they have that actually in the drum track. It's really cool. Let's see what else they're doing.
Just why
Okay, notice now when they go to this next section where more of the rapping part comes in, the guitar part changes. So if you're really paying attention, the guitar all of a sudden pans to one side and it's playing a different part. So listen to that. It's not just the change of the vocal, it's actually a change in the guitar.
So tonight,
so where it's going, dum, dum, dum. Now change, watch.
Just why Shorty, I'm a party till the sundown. 지금의 신비로운 느낌은 뭘까? 완전 내게로 와서 people are sunrise. 네가 없는 난 어딜 가든 nobody.
Ah, that's cool. And notice how they add a trumpet. It's very, very, it seems like a trumpet hit right before they go into the next section. So there's no trumpet shown anywhere in the song yet, but then right there. Watch. Right there. Just for that one moment to initiate a climactic raise before we go into this next bigger part. All right, cool. So now they're tagging the chorus. Obviously, it's Love Me Right. Once again, it's always, what I've tended to notice is whenever a song has an English lyric or a lyric that's universal, it tends to hit more people because everyone can sing along with it. And it could be anything from, you know, I've seen la la la's and na na na's, things that anyone can sing. But if we're looking at this part and we're looking at the melodic structure, you'll notice that if you can get your chorus title repeated, let's say 4 times in a hook, by the end of a song, that means it's most likely repeated between 12 to 18 times, which means the average person would most likely remember that title. So that's what they're doing here. And the cool thing is I want you to see how they change at the end, where instead of doing, you know, love me right, doom, 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 love me right. But after they do that again, they do the slight change right here. Right here. So hold on. So you heard her, love me right? They change it here. It's like, no, no, do, no, no. And you have the tap, 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 tap on the snare. And that's just to create a little bit of change before we go into that next post hook. Now they're just tagging Love Me Right over and over again. So when they go to that post hook, they repeat Love Me Right even more. So now we're definitely going to remember that title. And it's done in a way almost like a horn. It's like, Bum, 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 bum. That's how the Love Me Right is kind of jumping out. And then now we're going to access into the second verse. Now, I haven't heard this song yet. I'm going to assume when they go in the second verse, there's going to be some sort of little thing that's a transitional element that will bring the end of the post hook into the second verse. Either they're going to pull out an instrument or they're going to do a ding, 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 ding. Something's going to happen there to give us some sort of feeling of change. You hear that? It's like they take out all the drums and you hear a big snare hit to make it feel impactful. Listen to it one more time. Now we hear horns. Backbeat. Okay, so this is getting really interesting. So now they're adding a backbeat much sooner to keep the attention. And if you're listening closely, you're going to hear piano rolls that are like, and you'll hear trumpets that are like, and we have the guitar, which means now they're adding more sonic information. And that's just to keep you as a listener interested. In the beginning, it's about teasing the listener with certain sounds that set up a groove, set up a melodic structure, so you feel compelled to pay attention to the song. But people could get bored because, there's a lot of things happening in the world. And if you're not constantly given some more quote unquote candy, if you're not given some more sugar, you might zone off. And so what they do is they start to add more things, the trumpets, the piano rolls, the fills, the backbeat, just to keep you on your toes. So that way you stay glued and captured into the song. Oh, that's cool. Now that's an interesting change. So now when we go from this backbeat to this next section, we have high, almost like EDM sounds, which is really interesting. And the vocalist now goes from this rapping to this more. And if you listen carefully, you'll hear a ooh, and listen to the delay on it. It's like ooh, ooh, ooh. Keep kind of going in the background. Now we're on 4 on the floor. Listen to the guitar. Build up a tension. Whoa. And a vocal chop right there. That very interesting. I would have never expected that. Hey, listen, this is the reason why I like doing these breakdown videos, because I've never heard these songs. So to see how people have taken really cool things that are used in all kinds of production, vocal chops and EDM sounds, and then Michael Jackson sounds, and all of it kind of mixed into one plate, one dish, makes it why it's interesting. Let's keep listening to what they do here. So second chorus, listen to the high harmonies. Check it out. So many harmonies. Ad-libs going on. Now we're into this kind of bridge. Moving harmony, big vocals. Breakdown, right to claps. Cool. Good stabs. High ad-libs. We got the horns going on. Guitars are still going. Yeah, so this is probably one of their party songs that goes off in their concerts. Yeah. They got the little yeahs that go on. All right, cool. All right, great. Well, let me give my professional opinion on this song. This is, once again, like I said before, this is a mixture of EDM, Motown, vocal chops, so something that is more current. They have everything from vocal singing to rapping. The transitions are interesting, how it goes from like, especially in that second verse, how it went to that EDM style, and the build-ups with a lot of fast kick drums. It's like doom 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 boom doom 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 doom. So to add all those different flavors makes it really interesting. The chorus is repeated a lot of times, so I obviously already know this song. And I listen to so much music that the way I gauge music is if I'd want to hear it again and if I can remember the title and the melodies. And I can definitely remember the melodies of the chorus. That's already embedded in my head, so I think that's a great job on that. Would I listen to this song again on repeat? Probably not on repeat. It's not one of the songs I put in my playlist, but I can see how this song would be a good song to play at a concert because it's got a lot of high energy. The horns, the guitars, the drum patterns, the tension and release would always build this stuff. So I can see how this would be a fun song. But overall, EXO always has really good music, and the producers, whoever is producing and writing these songs, are all really good. The mixes are always really good. And if you're looking at the layers of things that they're building into, it's building good melodic structures. It's building cool changes with the rap. They always have great ad-libs going on. And if you're really paying attention, anyone out there who has a golden ear, if you're part of our community, listen to not just the ad-lib, but they're sometimes harmonizing on the ad-libs. And that's another layer of when you have a really good vocal group or a good vocal producer in the studio, is not just this lead singer soaring over, the second and third chorus, but are you harmonizing it as well? And what's happening in the backgrounds? And on this song, you can tell they're doing interesting moving waves with the yes and constantly giving the ear something to grab onto and be interested in. So that being said, I hope you enjoyed this breakdown. If you liked it, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave us a comment below. Let me know what videos you want to see broken down more. And if you can support this channel, we really appreciate it because we cannot monetize these videos since we don't own them. So we have a Patreon account, which has a lot of great members, and we do more exclusive content in Patreon. And we can love it if you supported this channel and helped us continually grow this. So that being said, my name is Adam McInnis. I hope you all have a good day, and I'll talk to you soon.
Give me some of that power.